Hello everyone, welcome to this Sims 3 Create a World video. So today we're working mainly on roads. So I'm just going to start by saying I feel kind of dumb for never noticing this, but then again, I'm not an expert at Create a World in any way. But a lot of you, I think I had 3 or 4 comments on the last episode that were really helpful that told me you can rotate the grid, which now seems really obvious, especially since at the very bottom of the screen, basically for the entirety of last episode, was this little box that has like the rotation for the grid. So yeah, whatever. I guess I'm just not that observant, but it's fine. I now realize that's a thing. So basically what that allows me to do is rotate the grid to anything that I want. And then all the roads and lots that I place will be aligned perfectly. Because the problem I was having is that I just had the grid always on 0 degrees, because that's just the default. And that's the way I laid out the whole like town center area. But then for the rest of the island, where like the lots or roads are kind of at different angles to that grid, nothing lined up properly. So like I had some lots that were, too far from the road, or at a different angle from the road, or that were overlapping the road. There was a lot of problems like that. So I was like, I didn't really know what to do about it, but then I was kindly informed that I could rotate the grid. So yeah, that's mainly what I did this video. Is I redid all the roads that were wrong, and I also finished changing the road textures. I didn't actually finish that last time. And another thing that was pointed out to me by someone who commented in the last video is that the roads that I had without sidewalks wouldn't be able to touch the edge of the lot, because the sidewalks are still there even though you can't see them. So there would be this gap between the road and the lot that would have to be there, and that would be kind of annoying because then driveways wouldn't actually connect to the road. So I redid those roads, which I said last time, once I use a custom road it's really easy to change it. So I was able to change it to a road that is just all one texture. So it's basically the same as the road I'm working on right now with the tile sidewalks, except the sidewalks are just the same texture as the road. And the idea is trying to make it look like a shoulder, like the shoulder on the side of a road instead of like a sidewalk. So that was the idea there. So it still looks maybe more like a country road than the other ones, but it will still line up to the edge of the lot perfectly. And there's like a weird, it's not weird, but there's like a still like a sidewalk texture that's there on the even on the roads where I tried to like make it like a shoulder. So I may have to look into how to get rid of that, because like there's still like the little lines to show the different sections of sidewalk. Excuse me, but I don't really want that to be there, so I have to figure that out. But anyway. Right now, you can see I'm just going through and adjusting these roads. I kind of ideally had wanted to be done with the island at this point, but because of all the road changes that I've been doing in the last couple episodes, that has not happened. So I was going to discuss the plan that I had for the world at this stage. So we don't finish it in this episode, we get very close. And the main thing that I want to focus on in the next episode, I'm also going to talk about what just happened there in a moment, but what I hope to do in the next episode is finish it, like all the details. So there's going to be a lot of work that needs to happen with the trees and stuff, because right now I know it's a little monotonous. There's like a lot of just the same trees everywhere, so I'm going to try to get a little bit more variety and work on like streetlights and rocks and spawners and stuff. Basically all the things I haven't done yet. And someone also mentioned in the comments of the last episode, or some episode, I don't remember, whether or suggested that I change the color of the water in the sky. So I looked into that. It seems kind of complicated, but I think I'll look into that. I might do that like not necessarily on camera, because that's kind of boring, but just trying to make it look a bit more unique. And then the last thing, oh yeah, actually no, this is not the last thing, but so my plan is once I finish like the base of the world, like finish all the roads, lots, details, stuff like that, I'm gonna I think I want to share it. This is still, I'm not like 100% sure. My plans are subject to change, but what I plan on doing is releasing 2 versions of the world once I finish, probably after next episode. So one will be One will be this version that I made in the videos, which will require, I think it will gosh, that was a jumble. I think it will require Late Night and Island Paradise and maybe one other expansion, I'm not sure. I might put in some like other trees from expansions and stuff. So it will require some expansions, and you have to have all of the ones that are required because otherwise it just won't work. But because of that, it won't be very difficult for me to go in and remove those items. So I may go in and make a second version where I just remove those things, and that will be a completely base game version. Now, both versions of the world, the one that requires packs and the one that is base game, will just be what you're seeing here basically. So there won't be any lots that are done. There won't be any rabbit holes. There won't be any houses. There won't be anything. All the lots will be empty. So you have to keep that in mind. What I don't intend to make any base game lots for this world. So essentially, if you don't, I don't know how many people still have only the base game at this point, but if you're one of those people that only has the base game and still plays The Sims 3, you would be able to download the base game version of the world and then download, as I make lots for it, you could download those. And when you put them in your world, it will remove all the content you don't have from them. So you could just place them in yourself. So, there is that solution. But I plan on just using whatever content I want for all the lots, including the rabbit hole lots, because there are rabbit holes I want to use that aren't base game ones. And, that's going to be a process, making all the community lots and houses. That's going to take way longer than just making the world. So, yeah, that's going to be a process. So that's why I plan on releasing this blank version and then much later on releasing a version with lots. So whether that be just community lots and then maybe even later one with houses too. It depends what order I do things in, but yeah, essentially it's going to be a while before that version comes out. So yeah, so this first version will also still be a work in progress. So if there's anything wrong with it, like if you place in some rabbit holes and play yourself, I'll do some play testing myself, but if you run it, I guess I can discuss this more when the time comes, but I'll talk about it now. You would be able to leave a comment I'll make a video, announcing that the world would be available, and you could say this lot doesn't work, Sims are glitching out here, whatever, and I could try to fix things, but that's essentially the plan anyway. And so another thing that I wanted to mention was pretty soon, probably sometime next episode, I won't do it on camera because it's not interesting to watch, but you can go in Create a World. You can, when you're making a world, you can name or put an address in for every lot. So I do want to put addresses in. So I'm going to need some street names to put in for the addresses, and I thought that would be a good thing that you, my wonderful viewers, could recommend some names. So in the comments of this video, you can leave some ideas for street names that I could use, and yeah. And if you have a specific street name you want to go in a specific part of the island, I guess you could say that too. But yeah, so that's open to suggestion, and I'll hopefully use a lot of those suggestions in the world for street names and stuff. So yeah, and so I'm going to talk about what happened 5 minutes ago. So you may have noticed there was this weird orange houseboat lot thing that I placed off the edge of the world. So for some reason, that's the way, houseboats are very weird, but in short, I'm going to be including 3 houseboat lots in this world. Of course, that will require Island Paradise, so the base game version will not have those. The lots that would normally be the ports for the houseboats will just be normal residential lots in the base game version, but in the full version, what essentially they will be is 3 lots, 2 of which I plan on having residential houseboats, and then one a community one, for a restaurant or something. I don't know. So I already have those lots in place, and then I have to put in the houseboat lots separately, and then in the game, I have to use some cheats to set the houseboat lots to the ports. But anyway, there will be 3 houseboats lots in this world, or 3 ports. And what I'm doing right now is I think this is what requires Late Night. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think this is from Late Night. And basically, I'm redoing this island completely. So this island is going to have a small industrial area on it. So the idea is I wanted to make this somewhat, this island is somewhat realistic, somewhat plausible. even if it's not perfect, I want to have like some, illusion of realism. So that's why I put in like the ferry area and like the wharf in the last episode, So like, oh, here's like how people would get to the island. But as I mentioned last time, is like, well, how would like building materials and cars and like food and all that kind of stuff be delivered to the island? You need some kind of port. So that's what I'm building here. This is the industrial port, and I put in that crane, which I think is also from Late Night. Like, it doesn't look quite right, but I imagine that's like how things would be taken off of boats or something. I don't know. But it also looks a bit small for like large ships, so we can just pretend. I don't know why like it's so narrow, but whatever. This is what I imagine would be like the industrial port area. And these two lots I'm placing here, one is going to be the criminal hideout, like warehouse building, and the other will be the science center, like the science building, because they both look pretty industrial, and I thought they would fit in well in this area. And then I'm also, maybe not the best place, but I was going to put the school here as well, because I just had a lot of empty space, and I needed a lot of space. Like, the school pretty much requires a 64 by 64 lot, because it's a school and stadium combo that I'm going to use. And I also want to have like an outdoor playing field as well, so, although I guess I don't need an outdoor playing field if it has like the stadium. I don't know. I mean, I could maybe find a lot on the main island for the school, but for right now, I kind of imagined it going on a 64 by 64 lot that I'm placing in right now. So like right there, essentially. So I don't know if I like the school being there because it's kind of like not the best area, but I don't know if it matters that much. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's The Sims. And then over here is just going to be some houses, basically. So I'm going to put, I think, like 4 lots over here. So there'll be 4 houses. This world ends up having so many lots. It's insane. So I think in the end, so like right now at the end of this episode, we have 120 lots exactly. And I only put down 1 houseboat lot. So there's going to be 2 more. So that'll be 122, I think, lots total. So I think there will be about a total of 122 lots. To put that into perspective, I don't know how many of you have watched The Sims Supply's Aluna Island. That was like quite a few years ago now. I think that was like 2014. But anyway, I was kind of curious how many lots that he put in Aluna Island. So I looked that up. He put 70 lots in. So this is 52 lots more. It's deceptively large. This island is very full of lots. I guess that's not a good sentence, but you get the idea. There's a lot of lots here. 122. Yeah, so I don't intend on, like, in the very final version of this world, which I hope to get to at some point. It could take a long time. I don't intend to fill out every single lot. I'll probably leave some empty, but I do want to build out most of this world, so that's a lot of lots. That's a lot of lots to build. So yeah. But there's different variety of community lots that I want to include that will be specific to some expansions. But again, you don't have to download them if you don't have those expansions. So I was thinking of like doing a laundromat, and like of course there's gyms and museums and pools, like community pools. Those are all from the base game. But there's also ones like the junkyard, which is from Ambitions, and the consignment store is also from Ambitions, and like the fire station is from Ambitions. And there's like a beauty salon you can have, and that's also from Ambitions. So I was thinking of like including all of those lots as well, because I have so many community lots. And I feel like having all those different things will kind of make the town center feel more like a proper town center, having like all these different types of services and stuff. So yeah, I do intend on doing all of that. And and I intend on using different expansions for the rabbit holes, because Island Paradise has some good rabbit holes that kind of like combine things together. So like I'm going to use a city hall from Island Paradise that includes like the city hall, the police station, and the what's it called, the military base, because I don't really want to have to put a military base here because there's not really a good space for it. So yeah, and I don't intend on using any mods. Like I remember that James from the Sim Supply in Aluna Island used like these rabbit hole rugs or maybe not. Actually, I don't think he did. Never mind. I think I'm remembering incorrectly. I think he like put things like in basements. I think he put like rabbit holes. Like he put the school, and then like in the basement of the school he put like the stadium. So maybe he didn't use mods. I'm wrong, I think. I don't even remember. It was so long ago, but I'm not going to do that sort of thing. I'm not going to hide rabbit holes like in basements and stuff. I kind of want everything to be like there. So that's why I'm going to use these rabbit holes from expansions that like combine multiple rabbit holes into one building, because I think it's a better use of space. But anyway, right here, I'm just kind of fixing up this area where the road kind of goes down to the wharf because it just didn't look so good. So that's what I'm doing there basically. And also this wall annoyingly had this hole in it. I don't know what pack this concrete wall is from, so I'll have to find that out because I used that there to hide up the hole in the retaining wall there. So yeah, and then I used some rocks to kind of like cover up this area. Maybe not the best solution, but whatever. So yeah, we're nearing the end here. And I think all the roads and lots at this point are done. Oh, I know what we have to do. We have to do all the sidewalks here. You can see I never changed these sidewalks where to the new texture, so I'm going to do that now. And then, after this episode is over, at the end of this episode, I should say, all the roads are done, finished completely. All the lots are in their final locations. Those are all done. All the sidewalks are in. All of that is done. There's a little bit more terraforming I need to do because when I redid the roads, I had to like smooth out some roads. So there's some janky terrain in some places that I didn't catch until I finished the video. And I was taking screenshots and I was like, oh, there's some weird things happening over here. So I'm going to have to fix those things, but that's very minor. So the main things that need to happen still are details like some more trees, bushes, rocks, which I'm going to try to get a better variety of those. And then things like street signs, traffic lights, street lights, those things, and spawners, essentially. And that's it. That's all I intend in doing. I may do some things off camera, like renaming lots, like giving lots address names, and I will do that. And like maybe looking into changing the color of the ocean and stuff like that, but that'll be off camera between episodes. So yeah, I genuinely hope that next episode will be the last one. Not the last one in the series, because I still have to do the community lots. That will be, I intend on including that as part of this series, but that'll be after the world is released, the blank version anyway. So yeah, that is the plan pretty much. So yeah, and of course, if you have any feedback, let me know in the comments below, and I will take that into account. One person in the last episode suggested doing some jetties, like to prevent erosion, shoreline erosion. I thought about it, but I decided not to put them in because I couldn't find a good place for it, and I wasn't sure it would look that great. I didn't want it to kind of look out of place, and there's not that many beach areas that are very large, and I kind of want to use them for lots and stuff, like beach lots. So, I'll think about it, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Anyway, over here I'm just redoing the pathway on the lighthouse island to be dirt because the default pathway looks kind of bad here. And there's also a lot on this island that I intend to just make a dock. So you can imagine riding a boat out there, because otherwise it would be kind of weird not to be able to get there. Anyway, we're pretty much done here. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Create a World. I hope to see you in the next episode. And yeah, if you have any suggestions, leave them below. If you have any names that you'd like to suggest for lot addresses, let me know. That would be great. And yeah, here I'm just putting in some rocks by the industrial port area. So yeah. And yeah, there's some screenshots coming up after this that I hope that you stick around for, basically just showing an overview of things. But yeah, we made some good progress this time, and now all the lots are lined up and correct, and there shouldn't be any horrible glitchy things happening, I hope. I don't know. I haven't playtested it yet, so who knows. But yeah, putting in a few more trees here before the very last moments of the video, and some bushes over here, I guess. But anyway, this is pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a great day. Bye, everyone.